Hi there, Becky Ringler again. I wanted to do a little update tonight on my fluffy tree. I mentioned before about how to do the quick and easy version in my previous blog post. So this is still Christmas idea number 1, but I wanted to show you a really quick and easy way. And as I was making one the other night with a boa, I discovered something that I thought you should know if you're going to make one with a boa. And particularly if you're going to use another white envelope. Again, I cut off the end like I did before. The part with the flap, I cut that off. It seems if you get an award of some sort, it seems to come in a white envelope. And that's embarrassing, I happen to have a lot of those, which is really nice from all these random things. So they keep arriving in white envelopes, so there we are. Neither here nor there. Go buy yourself some white envelopes if you don't have any. With the boas, now I experimented. This is the first time I've ever used this. Really, they're kind of thin and fuzzy instead of the big fluffy feathery ones. The big fluffy feathery ones you're going to have to use less because they're so full. You can actually probably get about 3 trees out of one super thick feathery boa. With this, I had to cut it in half. I made one the other day. This was a 6-foot length. I just cut it in half, and that was perfect amount. You're not going to be able to make a very tall tree. It's going to be a little bit shorter and maybe a little bit thinner, but you don't need to worry about that because this is so fluffy, it'll make it look really cute and wide. So the little tip that I wanted to give you, again, with styrofoam, it's super easy because you just pin it around. No one can see the pins. It's very easy. If you're using paper, before you tape the envelope closed to make the cone shape, here's a little trick. At the end of the boa is usually a little string. And this little string, you want to tuck right in to where you think you're going to be rolling it. So what I would recommend is start to roll it first, see where the little hole is, unroll it. So then you've already created this little place for it to go. Stick the yarn end, so that one in. So that's covered, and you don't have to worry about that sticking out. You might even tape that. In fact, I'm going to do that. Just take a quick piece of tape, tape it on the inside here. Now you don't have to worry about it falling out. Then you're going to roll the paper into a cone shaped, and again, you might want to make this a little less fat than you would if you're making like putting the feathers on as in the first version I gave you. So this is a pretty skinny looking tree, and we are going to cut off the bottom quite a bit because there won't be enough for this. So tape this. I used some thick tape last time. Thin tape works just as well. What I have found is the glue works wonderfully over the tape. It doesn't even matter. So thin tape, thick tape, whatever you have on hand. Again, you may want to avoid masking tape because you don't want it to show through. That's why also we use a white envelope. You could also use a regular manila envelope and cover it with white paper. It's just an extra step which can be a little troublesome. Another thing that you might want to check is do a little experimenting. When you're winding, before you glue it, wind the boa around and see how far you can get with it. And then you'll know where to cut also. If you end up also with too much space at the bottom, then you can always cut it off also. So this looks perfect. This is about the length of my tree. Hard to see, I'll pull it back a little bit. So I'm going to cut off the bottom here. I think I know about where to cut. You can also experiment with leaving, if you want it to be a little taller, with pulling this down. Because it's so fuzzy, you don't have to have it like right on top of each other. You can actually leave a little bit of space and know that the fuzzies will cover it. So anyway, there's our little fuzzy tree. We'll top it off with a little bow at the top. Well, let me show you how to glue this. So what I might actually do is wait. You can cut it ahead of time, but I think I'm going to wait to cut until after I've glued everything. So you're going to want to just let it fall off because we've taped that to the inside. take some glue. Again, this is Elmer's, I don't know, gel clear glue. It works great. I've had this for years, actually. Whatever works for you. I like this because I can actually see it. It's blue, but of course it dries clear. And you just want to put a ton of glue just up and down where you're going to be gluing. And the feathers stick to this so well, as would seem obvious, of course, because it is glue. You want to kind of hold it down so the feathers are not dripping into this as you're putting the glue on. That's a pretty big key. And the nice thing about this gel glue is it doesn't run like the white school glue. That tends to drip a lot more. This kind of stays in place. Maybe a little bit hard to see. It does drip a little bit, but it's not like excessive. Okay. Once you've put that on, you're going to turn it the right way up. You can stick your hand inside the cone to give you a little stability. And then you're going to start wrapping. And you can kind of hold the boa in one place if you want to, and actually move the paper, or you can use and wrap the boa, whatever you find is easiest, but kind of pull it tight as you're wrapping it around. And I'm noticing maybe, wow, this is great. I might not have enough glue for what I need, so that's fine. We've gotten down pretty far on the tree, and I'm out of glue, so I'm just going to flip it upside down, try and keep the feathers away, and add more glue. So I'm adding just a little bit more glue for where the final bit is going to go. If I need more, I can add it. Oh, that turned out just perfectly. Okay, so there we are. And believe it or not, and then if you got a little end, which I do, sticking out, just pop a little extra dab of glue. Make sure it's actually on the paper. Glue it down. And voila! This dries pretty fast. The feathers stick so well to the paper and to the glue. It's really awesome. Now we're just going to cut away the bottom. Again, you know, you can just turn it over and cut. Again, you can cut this ahead of time if you want to. I did that the other day. I cut it off about where I thought, and then I made some adjustments at the end. Or you can wait like I did and see how far you get with your bow. It depends on how big a tree you want to make. And then we're just going to cut the bottom off. And the final step, well, here, we'll cut. And I'm going to try and push the feathers back so I'm not cutting the feathers off at the bottom, if I can help it. You can also use the scissors to help kind of push. Oh, hey, that's a good tactic. Blow on the feathers, and it'll keep them right out of the way as you're cutting. And remember, it doesn't need to be right up to the edge of the yarn necessarily, because when the tree is sitting down, all these little feathery things, of course, are going to cover that. So throw that away. And there we have it, little fuzzy tree. And what I'm going to do to top this off, put this down here. I finally found my ribbon. So this is just, it's cloth ribbon. It's a thin little red ribbon. You don't need very much, maybe about that long. I don't know how long that is. And you can kind of pull the yarn up a little bit, whatever you need to do. And then you're going to make a little bow. You're not going to see the bow until I turn it around, but essentially just make a little bow at the top. Now you can put something else at the top if you want to, but I like this little red bow. It gives a nice contrast. It's very simple and classic looking. And again, you could always find something else to put on the top. Make it your own design. Try and make the bow even if you can. Doesn't always work. Alright. It's okay if it looks a little quirky. And there it is. A little fluffy tree. This one, I really have been enjoying these ones with the paper cones because you can fit them over a flameless candle most of the time. And they glow. they're not going to be bright, but you're going to see a little bit of a glow underneath, which is really cool when the lights are out and you've got them by the tree. So there you are. This is the quick and easy version of the white fluffy tree, and sorry about all the adjusting there. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope that was easy. So this is another alternative than gluing all the feathers down. All right, bye.